Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Newbreed Film Reviews. This is episode 42. My name's Dave. Brian's on a podcast.
What's going on, guys?
We just got back from seeing Terminator Genisys in the theater, so everything's fresh, and we are going to cover it. Non-spoiler, then spoiler, just going into it. And this episode's a little different because this is a live in-house episode where we're like together in a Newbreed studio.
Yes, that is true. Dave is hailing us up from Florida, and he's up in Connecticut for the weekend. So we wanted to check out one of the movies that are out there and actually see it together. And the way that we have it set up right now is we're actually chilling in the same room doing the podcast, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I manned up on my fear of flying. I was scared as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. But that's like a long story. It was like a pain in the butt to get here, but it was worth it. Anyway, so I guess we could get into Terminator Genisys. So, Bri, what do you got to say about it?
Just a brief overview on the movie. I mean, my best way to describe it, and from the famous words of Gil, is meh. You know, that's my really thought process on it. You know, not to give away anything besides what you see in the trailer. I mean, it's an okay movie. It's a Terminator movie. I enjoyed parts of it, but in an overall fashion, I wasn't stuck to the screen. You know, like I had to watch every single minute of it because I didn't want to miss anything. And we'll talk about it in spoilers. There's a lot of the storyline that kind of really like lost me. You know, like I think that they tried to do this big grander scale of an idea and they just tried shoving it in 2 hours. So I don't think it, you know, I like some of the actors, but I don't think they landed a good movie. So that's my thought process. What do you think?
I like flat out, I was disappointed by it. I thought it was, okay, this is gonna sound weird. Like, I figured it was gonna be bad. So it exceeded my expectations, but I was also disappointed, if that makes any sense. I wasn't disappointed in Emilia Clarke. That chick is blazing. She's hot.
She's good looking.
Oh God. Like,
she's a good young Sarah Connor too. She's got that same like rustic kind of, or like, you know, ponytail back, like lips.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor look.
Yeah, damn. But she's way better looking than Linda Hamilton.
Yes, she is.
I think her name is Emilia Clarke, but she's from Game of Thrones. She's the mother of dragons for the people who watch that show, you know. The movie, like I said, it was better than what I thought, but it was also a disappointment again. I thought Arnold did fairly well. The guy who played Kyle Reese he was okay. The guy who played John Connor, I didn't care for him at all. And I'm not gonna go on a crazy rant, but yeah. You want to touch on anything else, Brian?
Yeah. So like I didn't recognize any of the people that you named off from the first hand. I don't watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, so I've never actually seen her before, but I think she did an awesome job in her role, you know, overall in her side of the film. Mm-hmm. I think she did perfect for Sarah Connor.
She was good.
Yeah, she was. And Dave had said Jason Clarke, which is the guy who actually played John Connor in the future. I didn't care for him. I don't think he was a good villain, you know, like I don't think no part of him like nailed the role for me. And I completely agree with you on that. It looks like I haven't really seen many of the other movies that he's been in. So I don't know if you see it, Dave, like any of these ones that you've recognized him from.
He was in a movie I saw recently, but I don't even remember, to be honest. He was like a guard or something. Scroll down a little bit, if you don't mind. Keep going. Yeah, I can't remember. I recently just saw him in a movie and I recognize him. He's kind of like he's a B-level actor.
Yeah. It
was just a bad choice. Like, to be honest, there's nothing, not hating on the guy completely, but there's just nothing, I don't know. There was something missing about his like performance. He just didn't do it for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing to write home about, basically.
Yeah, the movie, like, tried to be like Terminator 2. I get in the spoiler section, I guess I can get more into it. I'm trying not to ruin it, but, the actual trailer for Genisys, like, ruined a huge aspect of the movie. For the people that have seen the trailer, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you picked up on it. You're like, wow, that's a giant, plot point that just got thrown in your face and just ruined. And that's exactly what happened, like, watching the movie.
Yeah, you don't, sometimes this is one of those trailers that really ruins it for you. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the trailer and you want to see the movie, that would be your best bet, is to actually do that. It's smarter to go that route. But like Dave was saying, I kind of liked, all the three main characters. Arnie came back. I think he came back strong. He plays an old robot, and he played that off pretty well.
Yeah.
Kind of his humor came back, and there was like a couple, they obviously did the one-liners that I'll be back, when he's jumping out of the helicopter, which you see in the trailer, which is kind of cheesy. But they had that good chemistry that I think that the kid from the original, or T2, had. Like, between him and Sarah Connor. I think they had a good chemistry between the two of them, and that's what really kind of sold that non-human to human. He started learning from her, he learned emotions, and you can see that he was evolving that way, and I think they portrayed that pretty good.
But my problem with that is like, see, this is like why these movies probably shouldn't even be done anymore, because it's just regurgitating, like, themes from the previous ones. Like T1 didn't have that whole learning process. He was just like a killing machine. And then James Cameron was smart enough to, like, add that as like a little, like, addition to the story. Like, oh, give him kind of like almost emotions and have him evolve. So, like, in this movie, again, they try to, like, redo that relationship, like, between Edward Furlong in the second one and the Terminator, like, to get those heartstrings, like, tugged. And it worked. They did a good job, but, like, who hasn't seen T2? So it doesn't have that strong effect because we've seen it already better done in T2. So, like.
Yeah, and they just paid it homage that way, I think.
Yeah. They paid it homage. Again, like Arnie, he did the best he could for being, I think he's like 67 now. He was in good shape. They played up on, they did a good job of not making it seem like he was, like, in his prime. They just really, they acknowledged, like, he's, like, older, and they poked fun at stuff, and they had a couple of, like, one-liners. Arnie was entertaining. Was he at his best? Like, I don't think he was at his best. I'm just gonna grade the movie to get it out the way, even though I have more to say. And, I'll pass the mic over to Bri. I'm gonna grade it, for a Terminator movie, like, franchise-wise, I give it a B. But overall, like, just the movie as a whole, I give it, like, a C+. And that may be, like, a little generous, to be honest, like, but a C+. And that's not great at all. That's just, like, blah, like, whatever.
I would agree with you, too. I think that I actually wouldn't give it the plus. If I was just going to give it a letter grading, it would be like a C, or, I kind of agree, I guess, with IMDb. If I did a 1 out of 10 score, I think I'd put like a 7, like I'd give him a 70, if I was going to do that. Not a movie alone. If it comes on TV, I might watch it. We had talked about this though. So where do you put it in the entire franchise out of the 5 of them? Obviously, I'd probably put it like, I didn't see Salvation, so I can't actually grade that one. But I put it before the last one that Arnold was in. The first 2, I still keep that as my first 2 movies. T2 would obviously be my favorite. But I would slide this one in to, I don't remember the third one's name. Do you remember the third one's name?
Rise of the Machines, I think.
Yeah. So I'd slide this one in there, but I didn't see Terminator Salvation, so I can't actually put that in there. So this would be like a third one in the series for me. Maybe David said that I should see Salvation because I might like that, and I might slide in there first, but that's kind of where I stand on it.
Where it ranks in the franchise for me, like I was telling Bri, because he didn't see Salvation, like he said, Salvation, and you guys may agree or disagree listening, but like Salvation was like more gritty and a little like more reality based. And it was a Terminator movie, but like a little different vibe. And, I think this one it was different in Salvation, but like, I almost think Salvation was better, like, to be totally honest. And I may get a lot of crap for that, but like, I think Salvation was slightly better. I mean, I got more to say, but I guess it'll just wait to the spoiler section of the podcast, but I don't know what else to say.
So I'm good. I'm good to get into spoilers. So if you guys want to bail on us right now, you can. If you don't want to hear any of the spoilers, if you've already seen the movie, you can kind of hear what our comments are about it, and we'll give you the notice now. Alright, so let's talk some spoilers on the movie. Let's talk about certain things that we saw within the movie that we really liked and we didn't like. So what's something you really liked about the movie?
Something I really liked about the movie was the T-1000 was effing boss. Like, even though the T-1000 design is like old school from like the 90s, like T2 came out a long time ago, like you cannot get more advanced than Liquid Metal, and it still was like just badass, like on screen. The Asian dude, he had a real cool Robert Patrick vibe. It was almost like you were watching Robert Patrick, but it was just Asian. Like he was
Asian Robert Patrick.
Yeah, and I like the stuff they did with him. They took like his abilities like to another level. He did like other things that like were like in the realm of like what you think he could do. I enjoyed the T-1000 in the movie.
I thought he was pretty cool too. I thought you're gonna hear in the movie that there's this kind of like weird, crazy time twist thing, which we'll talk about. That's a big gripe that I have with the film. But I thought the girl who played Sarah Connor did awesome. You know, I think throughout the whole movie. And also when I was watching it, or we initially talked about the movie, we had said that how they're gonna explain the old ass Terminator. Like you came up with the idea how they're gonna explain it.
Yeah.
And they did it. They did it right. They didn't force Arnold Schwarzenegger into the franchise. They didn't. What they did was they made the storyline make sense with him being in there and aged, and they aged him as a robot too, with him breaking down and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool that they pulled it off that way without forcing it. And like I said, I really liked her as a young Sarah Connor, like just a badass, and she nailed it. So those are my favorites.
Yeah, she nailed it. She was good. Going to like John Connor, the guy who played him, I didn't care for John Connor in the movie, like, at all. Like, he was, I don't know, like, you know, obviously we're in the spoiler section, so, you know, the people who listening to this at this point, you don't care or you saw it. And, him being, like, taken over by the Terminators, by almost like nanobots or whatever the hell they explain. It was just like, they're just stretching. Like, it's going too far. Like, they don't even know what the hell to do anymore. And the whole, I mean, like, they were jumping from 84, 70s, 2017, 3005. Like, what? Like, there's like all these time jumps and alternate. There's like, am I watching Back to the Future or a Terminator movie? Like, I was expecting Doc to come out like a Terminator, like, and Michael J. Fox.
Can you, I got lost. I'd probably have to watch the movie probably about 3 more times, but can you make sense of what happened? Like, I don't know if you can explain it to me, but like, how are they,
what part?
How are they John Connor's, how is he John Connor's father when it's like 2017? And then how's that little kid him when he's living during that time? And then how did the first movie play in if the Terminator already came when she was 9 years old, not when she was older? I'm lost.
They didn't even explain, like I'm kind of confused too, because she said that, like, they didn't show or explain, like, when the Terminator came back when she was like 9, like, where's that scene? And like, where's the explanation for that? Maybe it went over my head, but like, who sent them back? Like, well, actually, they touched on it. They said that was erased in his memory for protective reasons. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, I know Arnie signed up for like 2 more sequels or 1 more, so maybe they're gonna go into it in the next one. But it was definitely like, a lot of jumping around and confusing and like confusion. Like, I guess when John Connor gets killed or like taken over or assimilated, whatever you want to call it, by the Skynet dude, it just messed everything up like time wise. And that's why he had all these memories and stuff. But to be honest, like, I think it was like just poor writing. It was lazy writing. It was
forced. Yeah,
it was very forced, lazy writing, and they just threw all this crap in there. And I don't know. I got some positives that I can touch on, but
that's a big negative to me. I was literally sitting there thinking, like, I'm hoping that you can explain this to me after, because
I can do it this time.
Yeah, I lost it. Like, when throughout the movie, they drop all these like timelines and stuff like that, and I'm trying to think back to like the old movie, and I'm like, okay, but how did that happen? You know, like, how was this happening during that time? You know, like, technically, the Terminator already met John Connor in T2.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, I don't even understand. Like,
no.
It's... Like,
I don't get it.
Everything's all fudged up, like, you know, it's because the movies are dragged out. Like, they're caught up in their own mess. Like, it's like... the franchise should have ended at 2. And it was wrapped up so perfectly, like, you know, Judgment Day was stopped, but like, no, Judgment Day's not stopped because there's more money to be made at the box office. So Judgment Day goes on. Like, so it's like, you know, and it sounds like I'm hating, like, I love Arnold to death, and I love the Terminator franchise, the first and second one, but like, all good things come to an end, you know? You have to accept, like, things have a beginning and an end, and it should have ended in 2. That was like a perfect wrap up. It was like lightning in a bottle, even making a sequel that was as good as the first, if not better, and they should have been happy with that. But, you know, here we are, like the 5th one.
Yeah, can I comment on that as far as the movie theater? I mean, me and Paul had went to go see Jurassic World, their opening weekend, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was sold out.
Yeah.
And we went, this is opening weekend for Terminator Genisys, and there were 6 people in the movie theater.
Yeah.
6 people in the movie theater.
I mean, it could be because of the timing, but like, there's definitely, I don't know how much they spent on it, what the budget was, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't make, you know, or they just break even with what they spent. I don't think it's going to be a big success. I think Arnold was on drugs when he said that this is like way better than Salvation. He said Salvation sucked, and it's like, dude, I know you're getting old because Salvation didn't suck like that. Like, it was actually okay, even with Christian Bale's Batman voice. I mean, I got some positives. All right, Emilia Clarke, chick is fucking hot. That's one positive. Another thing
she like, not to cut you off there, but you know, like, we just did the podcast.
Them lips, though.
Yes, she does. She does have beautiful lips. But we did the podcast on 50 Shades of Grey, okay? And the whole movie is designed around chemistry between 2 people and like their sexual chemistry. Mm-hmm. This movie had better chemistry than that between the 2 of them, and it's an action movie. And those 2 of them both had better chemistry than that 50 Shades of Grey movie.
Dude,
the 2 actors that are in that movie, these 2 actors did better than the movie that's designed for that.
If I was Kyle Reese, I would have like totally made a move on her in the time machine. How many people can say like, I did it in a time machine as I'm transporting?
That's might have how John Connor was conceived.
Maybe they got a little action in there before they got zapped through, but. Right. I would definitely went there. That's a little side note. What else I liked about the movie? Because it sounds like I'm hating on it.
They did some homage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Terminator movies, like 1 and 2 are like burned in my brain, and I have like very vivid, you know, memory of like scenes and stuff and whatever. And I thought they did a bang up job, great job of like recapturing the vibe, the cinematography, the feel of the first Terminator and the second one when it needed to. Like when they did the time jumps and stuff. Like when Arnie first teleported and like, remember the punker guys were like, hey, look at this guy. Like, he's naked.
Yep.
When he first got teleported, they nailed that like spot on.
Yes.
And they probably used like old footage and fixed it up.
Probably.
But the actor, the older black guy in the I think he's like a jazz musician, or he passed away, but like the original guy, but they used a new actor, but they did his makeup up to like try to resemble the original actor, and it was a good vibe. That's what I liked about it the most. Like the way that they recaptured the feel and they paid attention to detail. There was a lot of things that I was like, all right, like they didn't just totally rush and put this together. They actually, paid attention to stuff.
How about young Arnie too? Like that was
beast,
and that was ridiculous. Like me and Dave were talking about it on the way back, and I was comparing it to Jeff Bridges in Tron. Like they made him younger, and they digitally recreated him and made him look made a digital image of him. But I think that this digital recreation of Arnold Schwarzenegger was like blew that out of the water.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was looking for imperfections, and it looked so good and it looked so real. I mean, that that's not really Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's so impressive on how they kept him. And even in the middle of a fight scene, it wasn't like him just like standing still. Mm-hmm. They did an awesome job.
Yeah, I was really impressed also. The advancement in CGI, like we're at a point, and we were talking about it in the car, driving back, how it's kind of creepy because, like, is it going to get to a point where we don't even need actors anymore? Like, are they going to be out of a job? Like, and you can resurrect, like, actors that are dead and, maybe through, like, computers, like, mimic their voice or something and then, like, do the CGI. And it's kind of creepy. Like, I was mentioning abroad, like, what are we going to have, like, Humphrey Bogart come back? And it's crazy, but going back to the movie, like, I was nitpicking, cause I'm a nitpicker, like, and I was like staring at his face and I was like trying to find flaws in the CGI, and it was like 95% spot on. Like, just maybe like slight scenes when he talked that look a little rubbery, but not even rubbery. It was just like minute little bits that were off, but like it was like mint. Like, it looked like Arnold. They nailed his looks. As far as I know, like they use like a guy with Arnold's like physical dimensions, like a bodybuilder, and then they just superimpose the face, and they did a hell of a job. That shit was like crazy.
Yeah, it's usually like face and hair that give them the most trouble, and I think they nailed it. And like David said too, it's just kind of crazy. Like, right now we're at a point where almost like we can digitally recreate anyone. Like, Robert De Niro is somebody that when he dies and passes away, we have so much of him on film that we could probably recreate everything for him.
Yeah.
We can make a new Heat movie with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Like whatever we want, and 50 years from now, we can make a digital recreation of Heat,
I don't think, we'll have to do it for Pacino, cause I firmly believe he's one of the undead. I think he died like 10 years ago. Or it looks like he died 10 years ago.
And he's just holding out.
Him, Keith Richards have that power.
Yeah.
Possibly Mick Jagger. They're dead. They died already, people. You just don't know. But, yeah, it's crazy. Like the state of CGI right now. It's so crazy. What else I liked about the movie? I don't know. Like, okay, one feeling was like interesting. Like it was a little bit of like sadness because I'm a big Arnold fan, and he looks old, like he's elderly looking,
he looks beat up. Especially with his gray ass hair. Yeah,
he looks old, and it's like he's a legend. And when you see him like as the young Terminator, which was like still a beast, like the T-800 in that movie was ridiculous. Like it was definitely imposing. But like you look at him and cause we're like used to seeing him older, but when you see him how he was, it just brings you back to like the beast that he was, and there'll never be anybody like Arnold. Like we got The Rock, and he's close, but Arnold was just like put together like a monster, and like it was crazy seeing him young again. It's like, man, that's the Arnold I know, like one of a kind.
Yeah, I agree with you too. It's hard to see even him, or like we just saw the trailer for Creed, and you see Sylvester. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone, like beat up.
Yeah.
He's like looking really aged and elderly. So it's like, all our iconic people are kind of just falling off. It's kind of sad to see.
Yeah. Bruce Willis is headed down that route.
Yep.
Like, in the Expendables, he looked visibly like a lot older. He's like, I don't know, like his masculine features, he's like turning a woman like his face, like, it's hard to explain, man. I guess it's a funny thing, like the older you get, the more mushy you get, and the gender just goes out the window. We all just turn into blobs of mush, and it doesn't matter, man, woman, we just all become a blob of mush. It's kind of sad, but, who else is getting there? Dude, Seagal is kind of hurt looking.
Yeah.
He's heavy. Yeah, but like, to me, like, Gibson looks okay though.
He looks okay. He's super wrinkly though.
Yeah, he's super wrinkly. Like, but it's sad, man. Like, you know, the action stars from like our generation, like I'm a little older than Bri, but we kind of idolize the same people.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, they're getting older, man. And like, you know, the people that are going to take the torch from them are probably like Statham, but what's crazy is that Statham's like damn near 50.
Yeah, Statham's old too. He's like, he's kind of a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
You got Hardy.
Hardy, yes, I give it to Hardy.
Yeah.
The Rock is like in his 40s, so he's slowly getting up there.
Yeah.
He's still got some good years in him. But Chris Hemsworth, I guess.
Yep.
You know, but
Chris Evans is trying to do it
Chris
too.
Evans, but and maybe it's because like we're in the now and we don't appreciate them, but like I still don't think they have that oomph that like the older guys had. Like,
no, like if you say Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Sylvester Stallone, mm-hmm. Can you say that we have one of those right now as an action star?
The closest one is between two people. It's between Statham and The Rock, and I still don't think they're. I don't think they're on the same level. I don't think they're on that level.
No.
And that sounds crazy because The Rock, his movies made the most money, I think for 2013. It was like 500 million, some crazy, maybe it was like $1 billion, I don't know, but it's not all about numbers. It's about like presence and like, he's not there yet. He's a legend, but he's not on that level yet, to me anyway.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, it's sad to see, you know, these, favorite action stars getting older. But to wrap it back into Terminator, we went off on a little tangent about Arnold Schwarzenegger being really old.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's still cool. I mean, we both went and saw it though, because no matter what, we still we still appreciate the Terminator franchise. And, something I wanted to touch on, I guess, is they tried to take a separate route with, Skynet, make him like a living being. You know, like, I thought that was kind of weird. Like, they tried to do like this twist, but you're like, it just kind of like went over you. You're like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, like they tried to be like, oh, it's become so much of a being that in the future it takes, you know, a human form and stuff like that. And it's become self-evident. And that's it's like the god of all the robots, you know, so.
Yeah.
So and I think that's where they're going to try to push for the next movie. You know, like he's going to be the leader he's going to have a more imposing role, you know. But I didn't like it. Like it didn't.
This is like, I don't, you know, I'm about to get like philosophical right now, but like Skynet like contradicts itself like in the movie. Cause like, okay, like Skynet, like it's established like, it's AI and it views humans as like a threat. It's a robot. Like, you know, no feeling, no emotion, like how they say in the movie. It doesn't fear, blah, blah, blah. You know, how Kyle Reese says in the first one, you know, his famous speech where they repeat in this one, but like, they portrayed Skynet to be like so advanced that like, it was like snickering. It had like almost like human attitude. It was weird. So like, if you have something that's that advanced, it's no longer like a cold robot. Now it's almost human-like, so you wouldn't think that it sympathizes like with humans, like not to kill them. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, if it's so advanced where it can, like, mock you and, like, snicker and have these human qualities, then it's becoming very human-like.
Right.
So, how can it coldly just murder, like, civilization? Like, I like the idea that it's, like, machines and they're just, like, cold and so different than us. And the Terminator from Part 2 was the unique one. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Right. They're going too far.
It's just, it seems like they're trying to push it that way, and they're trying to push it into some crazy, like, overall big story. Kind of like Jurassic World, where they're trying to take raptors and make raptors like fighting machines in the war. So like they're just trying to take this small idea and like blow it up way bigger than what it is. It's like you're trying too hard, like just end the franchise. Just end it, please.
Yeah, I'll be cool with, I don't know. I know they're going to have another one, but it should have been wrapped up with T2. And I love Terminator, but I honestly would be cool if they just don't make any more. It's just, it's over. Like, it really is. Like, and the sad part is like, this will probably make a ton of money overseas, cause for some reason, movies that bomb here, like, especially like in the Asian market, like Japan, they
love the bad movies.
I don't know, like if you have explosions and effects, it's like, it just sells like overseas. It's weird, and it's probably going to make its money there, and they'll probably come out with another one, and it's like, you can count me out. I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, like if you stay till after the trailer, so if you're still listening to us and you've let us ruin the whole movie for you and you haven't seen it, I don't know if you've had the chance to see after the trailer, they go to a scene where it shows, Skynet is still alive. Like they obviously didn't kill Skynet at the end of the movie, so, that's to tease up the ball for, for them to actually do another movie. But, my opinion is don't do one. So what do you think? Like, would you recommend someone to watch it? Not like go in the theaters. I personally wouldn't send anybody in theaters, but would you recommend somebody like, Redbox or like, streaming?
I mean, if you're like super, super, super bored, like, and you just ask me like, hey, you got a movie, I can check out or recommend, I'm going to be like, I guess I would recommend it, but I would just like warn somebody, but like, it's not that great. I mean, I don't know, like, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but like, it's almost like a waste of life to watch it. I feel like I wasted, and that shit was like long, dude. It was like dragged out to me. I was sitting there like, am I watching Titanic or Terminator? Like, this is like a 3-hour movie. It's like, it was crazy. And I don't know, man. It just, I guess to answer your question, I would recommend it if somebody's absolutely bored out of their mind.
I hope that, to end this, if you guys find anything that explains the timelines that happened in this movie, send it to us, please. At our Gmail, we have Newbreed Film Reviews 2014 at gmail.com. Send us the schematics, the timelines. I would greatly appreciate it. Or hit us up on Facebook, Newbreed Film Reviews at Facebook. Send us a message to tell us what the hell is going on. Like, what the hell happened? 73, 84, 97, 2017, 3000, whatever. Explain to us what happened.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like, real quick, like, the whole, we're in the spoiler section, but like Arnold being liquid metal, like they did like foreshadowing and it was like poorly done. You just pieced it together. Like I'm sitting there cause he's like, oh, the poly blah, 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 whatever the liquid metal is called. Yeah, I'm not a Terminator fan. I don't remember the technical name, but, mimetic polyalloy, like something like that. He said it's harmless without a CPU, and then it's right there's like ding, like, oh, okay, so that means
that's what's gonna happen at the end.
your chip's gonna go in and you're gonna kick butt later, and that's what happened.
You're gonna get a new, because now he's all geared up and ramped up for the next movie.
Yeah,
like upgraded. I've been upgraded.
Yeah, and I personally don't want to see him as liquid metal, because liquid metal is the sleek, smaller version of a term. To me, like, I view Arnold as like the tank version, like, like this brutish Terminator, like old school T-800, but now he's like all sleek and has like, he could do the sword thing with his arms, and like, it needs to end.
Yes.
Like, Terminator needs to end. It's done. So I don't have anything else to say about it. Do you, Bri?
Me either. So thanks for checking us out, and Dave will be heading back to Florida later in the week, and then we'll be doing them actually back through Skype.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's
the remote studios.
Yes, but it's kind of cool that we're actually here now, and we get to check out a movie. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir.